What is going on, yt-koalaz here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make a very cool banner for your YouTube channel in Photoshop. This is going to be a very simple tutorial. It's going to be similar to the banner that I have now, which I really like, and I thought, hey, you know what, why not just make a tutorial on it? So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and open up Photoshop first of all, and make a new file. After you change the name, change the width and the height to 2560 by 1440. Make sure it's in pixels and the orientation is a landscape. Resolution 72, RGB color. I'm going to change this to 16-bit actually. Background contents, we're just going to keep it white. And create. I'm going to keep this background here for now, but what you're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to want to find a sample image for your background. Now it's going to want to be a very large image because this is 2560 by 1440 after all, so it's a pretty big image. So here in the description there is a little guide on what's like areas you can use and stuff. It's also here if you just look up YouTube banner size. Make sure it says 2560 by 1440 here though. So a very good website for like backgrounds and stuff like that is Unsplash. I actually have my own account in here, unsplash.com/yt-koalaz. But I'm going to use this picture here because this picture does look pretty cool, and you can download them all for free. So here's the image. As you can see, if we zoom in, it's a fairly large image. I mean, you can zoom in pretty far without the quality being unbearable. But the problem is when it comes to blowing the image up to this size, but it does not seem like that we're going to have a problem here. So we're just going to make it the actual size of here, just like that. There we go. And just to be sure that it's actually, you know, in the middle, I'm just going to turn the opacity to like 50% and then move like the shoreline to like there. If I'm, you know, I'm going to just do this just so it's a little bit more straight, but that also means that I have to make the area bigger, so we're just going to tilt it just a little bit. So I know that might not be 100% straight, but I'm not going to use this for anything probably, so we're good. So now put this image on top and change the opacity down to 50%. Got it. It has to be exactly 50. Oh my god. Oh my god. Stop. Stop. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer. We're going to go Control-Shift-N for a new layer. This little box will come up. Just name it whatever. I'm going to name it name box because it's going to be the box for our name. Next, go over to the sidebar and click this. It probably looks like this. If it doesn't, right click on it and it would be one of these, but we are going to pick a rectangle tool. Now depending on how long your name is going to depend on how big your box is. You can change your box later on, but just be sure that you know how big your box is already. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create and simply drag it probably about this big. So this is what it looks like. If we deselect it, it's literally just a black box, so we can turn the opacity on this down to 50 as well, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit, while selected on the box layer, we're going to hit Control A, go to Layer, Align Layers to Selection, Vertical Edges, and then we're going to go to Layer, Align Layers to Selection, and Horizontal Edges. Now this will be complete 100% centered, but if you do not want it 100% centered, vertically or horizontally, my bad, don't do anything. Just select the layer and then just hit up on the arrow keys and it'll do this. Next, I'm going to select the type tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just type my name out here. I'm going to make sure it's white just because I like it white, and we're going to drag it in here, and while it's selected we can change the font size to, you know, match the box, but however I am going to change the font like this. I don't even know if this is the font that I have on my channel. It might be. So we're just gonna change the font so it, you know, fits inside of the box at least. However, you can do the Control A and Align Layers to Selection trick if you want to, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so now that it is 100% lined up, you can probably tell that this box is just a little bit too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the layer, hit Control T, and then we are just going to simply just drag it in. Now that might be a little bit too small for your liking, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very slightly kind of change it. Now, however, you might have to recenter it depending on how big you made it. So yeah, I did actually put spaces in between the letters just so it looks a little bit better. Next thing that I'm going to do is we're going to click on our text here, right click and hit blending options. You're going to go to stroke and we're just going to click it, and I like having it very subtle just like this, so I'm going to keep it at 1, but if you want you can change it so you know it does this, which I don't really like, but keeping it at 1 is a nice touch. Also outer glow, this is pretty intense, so I'm going to change the size down pretty far. I'm also going to actually I'm going to keep it white just so you know it looks better. I decided to remove the outer glow, but if you want to keep it, that's up to you. So now if we just take away this part right here, this is what our banner would look like. Obviously this is a little bit too minimalistic for me, however you could theoretically just set it like this. Just make sure that this is actually 100% centered, and yeah. But I'm not done. I'm going to add just a little tiny like text box like under here. So there we go, that looks clean. It is 6 pixels up, 6 pixels down, and 6 pixels like this. So it is pretty much as centered as you can get it. So for this one, instead of stroke, we're going to add a under or an outer glow of a very low amount. So as you can see, if we do this, we make it smaller. There we go. Without this, boom, it looks cool. And also this is just mainly for so we don't go outside of the text box for desktop, which a lot of people are on desktop, so you don't really want to go, you know, over that limit. So now it is time to add social media boxes. So we're going to go back to this rectangle tool, right click, and this time select rounded rectangle tool, and then just simply make a small box, preferably, you know, the same size. So if your logo so happens to be a different color, just right click on it, hit blending options, go to color overlay, and then change the color to whatever you want. Make sure the opacity is at 100 though. So we're just going to make it smaller by hitting Control T, and there we go. I'd say that's a pretty decent size. Actually no, that is really small. So we're going to take the rounded rectangle and we're going to increase it in size while holding shift so it stays the same size. Same thing with this logo. Now what I like to do with the logos is I want to make sure that they are 100% as centered as they can be. Now obviously no one is going to go and look at your banner pixel by pixel, but I am a perfectionist, so I have to have it good for me. That's why it takes me so long to do these things. And there we go, we are pretty much done. If you want to, you can add text under here like I have for the social medias, but people will usually, if you have them in your description, people will know, and if you have them on your little sidebar over here, people will know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to and then hit the folder icon, so it makes an entirely new folder. Then I'm going to select the folder, hit Control J, and there it makes a copy of the folder. So now we have 2 different copies of it. In the copy one, I'm going to go to my text layer for the actual name. We're going to go up to the blending mode up here, and we're going to hit difference. See? Now doesn't that look cool? Kinda. And there you have it. Your banner is finished. I did lay it out just for you guys. These will all be available for download in the description below. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.